Welcome back. Our fates are often decided early by childhood dreams. As a young idealistic girl, Nerma was determined to fight on behalf of oppressed Muslims. She didn't realize her struggle would be in her own country. Nerma fled Bosnia when she was 15. 3 years ago, she returned on a mission to bring to account the thousands of her fellow countrymen suspected of committing war crimes.
When I decided to be a journalist, when I was 13 years old, I came to my parents and said, I want to go to Afghanistan. I don't want to play with the dolls. I want to go to Kurdistan, Afghanistan, because I felt that one image they were shown to the world, groups of Kurdish refugees fighting for the bread which has been thrown in the mud, didn't really do them justice, and that wasn't their life. It wasn't their life before they came to the situation to pick the bread out of mud. And, you know, it wasn't the life that they continued living probably afterwards.
One man has always interested Nerma more than anyone else, Milan Lukic. A young man from her hometown, he became an infamous paramilitary commander. He was indicted for crimes against humanity, unlawful detention in prison camps, torturing prisoners, the deliberate burning of a house with the inhabitants still inside, and for mass murder.
I found the story of Milan Lukic fascinating, because he comes from my town, because he did crimes in my town, you know, to my neighbors, to my friends. I did them because if you read the 163 indictments issued by the Hague Tribunal, you will find that that was the most graphic in terms of describing the individual crimes, holding him personally responsible for committing them, and not ordering them, but committing them. And he was a young man, 26, 27, and he was very passionate in what he did. So I wanted to know why. I mean, we're all born equal. You're all born equal, and why, if you live for 18 years normally, what makes you seemingly normal? What makes you flip?
The War Crimes Tribunal said it could not find witnesses to charge Lukic with rape, so Nerma and her team started interviewing women. Before long, she had harrowing video testimony from dozens of women.
On je samo rekao, on je vidio kad je mene silovo Lukić u dvorištu. Sinu, vidio je, on je, kad je vidio, sletio je, strčuo, ako šumerak bio, piškuće. I on je samo rekao, prije toga me pitao koji je najoštriji nož, ne znajući da će mom djetu ispod vrata ići. Ja kažem ovaj, dobro, kao on je njega uzeo i istjerao me u avlu iz kuće. Moje sinu tu me i silovo. Sin je izašao iz šumerka i dotrčao i rekao, nemojte mi mamu dirat. Oj, kaj je vamo Turčine. I zavratio mi je glavu. On je samo rekao, mama, molim te, baba, videla sam u krkljan.
Despite the graphic testimony, Lukic will not go on trial for rape. The war crimes prosecution team say that to add another charge to his indictment would be legally too complicated and delay the process even further. The trial against Milan Lukic will probably start later in 2008.
There are two things I could do. I could sit here for years and say, oh God, I hate that Milan Lukic, deserves to die, he should hang off that tree, and he's just such a nasty man, bastard. And what do I achieve? The courts are there to identify the crime, identify the perpetrator, punish the perpetrator. In that process, it so happens that at the same time they establish the facts, but these facts are limited to the area, to the person, to the day, you know, to the victim. They are not more widespread, and I think we definitely need that, of course, in order to give, if you will, a name to the criminals, But at the same time, I believe there needs to be a lot more dialogue on a larger scale, on a non-judicial level.
So far, the Bosnian War Crimes Chamber has pronounced 13 guilty verdicts and sentenced the guilty to a total of 208 years in prison. 54 men are still under indictment. But does the process help a country heal, and can Bosnians forgive and forget?
The majority are in denial, especially in places like in Sarajevo, bigger towns. It's normal for a society like this that's going through this to try and say, yes, we've survived this, but we're fine and we just want to move on. But then when you scratch under the surface, this, I don't know, it all comes out. It starts coming out. Every conversation goes back to the war.
Do you feel very lonely in your opinions?
Sometimes. People easily dismiss the importance of working on this issue. And that's where the loneliness comes. You don't feel lonely. I mean, I can't speak in general. There have been times when I felt less lonely at a mass grave than in a group of people.
Nerma has sacrificed her own personal life to set up her Justice Report news agency. She works and reads and writes day and night, tracking down war criminals. While many of her countrymen try to forget about the past and walk by, not even noticing her, she doggedly fights on.
Whatever I do, whatever the court does, whatever any of these people who work on these issues do, it's not going to bring back the dead, but it will give the respect to the dead, but it will also give a meaning to their death, which will turn it into a preventive mechanism for the future.
There are currently more than 50 people facing charges of war crimes at the Hague Tribunal, but these are the little guys, not the masterminds who organise the atrocities. They are still free. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again on Witness.